Hello everyone, welcome to the 7th session on oil hydraulics and pneumatics. In this session we will be continuing with the fluid power system symbols. For this specific session we will be covering the flow control valves, and the very first set of flow control valves are known as the orifice valves. Now if you know the orifice are basically the small holes that are available within the plates, something like this. So to show such kind of orifice valve, what we will do, we will use two arrows like this on this specific line. Many times these kind of arrows are enclosed within a square or rectangular box. Most probably there will be a rectangular box. Now these kind of orifice valves are basically used as a short throttle segment. Okay, so this kind of orifice valves are represented like this. They are actually used as a flow control valves, as we know the title. Second type of flow control valves are basically known as the throttling valves. As you can observe that there is a symbol of a venturi like device available over here. So wherever you see such kind of symbol, you should understand that this kind of valves are actually used to control the flow of the fluid. Okay, now this kind of valves actually helps to control the flow based on the pressure difference available between 2 points. Okay, the first one is known as the fixed displacement flow control valve, as there is an arrow available on the second valve like this. This specific arrow represents the variable displacement one. So this is the variable kind of throttling valve. Okay, the third kind of throttling valve is actually looking something like this. Okay, this is known as the throttle and check valves in one construction. So as you can observe, there is a throttling symbol available. As you have observed over here, this is a symbol of the throttling valve. And secondly, if you observe this specific symbol, as of now we have not learned this specific symbol, but this is known as the check valve, or the second name of this valve is the non-returning valve. This valve looks something like this. There is a circular section available over here and there is an arrow available like this. Okay, now what this specific symbol represents, this represents that the flow can go in only one direction. So this specific symbol shows that if the flow wants to go in this direction, it is possible, because the ball will get opened and it will allow through this specific ball. Okay, the flow will be allowed through this specific ball. But if the flow wants to come in this specific direction, it is not possible to come in this direction, because the ball will enclose this opening. Okay, so this is how the check valve will operate. This is also known as the non-returning valve. So over here, if you observe this symbol, both the symbol, the throttling valve symbol and the check valve symbols are enclosed in this specific set. So this combinedly known as the throttling check valve. Okay, so over here what will happen if you want to go in this specific direction? As you can observe, you can't go through this specific valve because this valve will be closed. This valve only allows flow in the reverse direction. Okay, so you can't go in this specific direction. So from where you need to go? You need to go in this specific direction only. You have to go through this throttling valve, which is a variable throttling valve. So whatever the pressure reduction is there, pressure control is there, you have to sustain that pressure control and then you can go further. But if the flow wants to return, if you flow want to return from the second direction, that means from the right side to the left side, in that case there is an option available to return from this direction. There is an option of this return valve. Okay, so the flow can return in this specific direction also. So this is how the throttle check valve works. If you want to say in a proper way, this throttle check valves are basically used where the volume flow have to be infinitely controlled in the one direction only. Okay, but it is actually allowed to free flow in the reverse direction. In that case, we can use these throttle check valves. Second valves are the flow control valves, which are actually pressure compensated. If you observe this specific arrow in the upward direction, this shows the pressure compensation. Now, what do you understand by the pressure compensation? The pressure compensation are basically devices, or say pressure compensated valves are basically devices which are designed to provide the constant volume flow rate independent to the pressure drop across the valve. Doesn't matter how much pressure drops along the valve, it will actually control the constant volume flow rate. Okay, it will provide the constant volume flow rate, doesn't matter how much pressure is getting compromised. Okay, so this specific upper arrow shows the pressure compensation. Okay, on the cost of the pressure, they will provide the constant volume flow rate. Second type of valve are the pressure and the temperature compensated valves. Now, as you have understood the pressure compensation, the temperature compensation is also similar kind of thing. That means the pressure and temperature will be compensated, but doesn't matter, pressure and temperature is compensated, the flow will be constant through this specific valve. This is how this valve will operate it. Last one is the pressure temperature flow control valve with bypass check valve. So which will be the combination of this one. Okay, so this is a pressure temperature compensation in addition to this specific valve. So this is the combination. Okay, so what will happen over here? In one direction there will be pressure and temperature compensation available. Okay, but if the flow returns, in that case there will be no control of the pressure, no control of the flow. It can freely return through this specific line. This is how the flow control valve with pressure temperature compensation and the check valve will be used. So this is how this all flow control valves are used. Now the third category of the flow control valve basically contains the flow dividers. Now what do we understand from the both flow dividers? Flow dividers are basically we can say they can actually accept the oil under the pressure from one pump. Okay, if there is a one pump available, they will take the oil from the one tap pump and they will divide it into the two stream of the pumps. As you can observe, they will may be equal or they may not be equal. It depends on the specific control valve. Okay, this is the throttling valve available. If they are set to the similar pressure, they will divide the whole pressure into two parts, but if they are set on a different pressures, in that case the system will divide or the pressure unequally. Okay, so it completely depends on these throttling valves. So basically the function of the flow divider it is to take the pressure from the pump, the single pump, and divide that pressure into two parts. So we can say that two independent branch of circuit can be operated with the help of only one pump. Okay, so this is the first thing which actually divides the flow into two equal partitions. As you can observe, there are throttling valves available which are actually set to the equal divisions or equal values, and second one are the flow dividers with the two coupled motors. So there are motors available which are coupled together and there is a flow divider available. So these are the control valves available. Now this video is being short because the next topic that we are going to cover is very interesting and very lengthy topic, which is known as the DCVs, which are known as the direction control valves. Direction control valves. So in the next video we will be covering the direction control valves, and which is going to be the longer session. That's why we have completed this flow control valves in this specific video. Keep learning. Have a good day.